G'day viewers, welcome to another weekend edition of TFU. First one in a while. I'm just going to lead in with look, occasionally I have done TFU a little bit drunk. Yeah, it's the end of the week, time to cut loose, get a bit of a flow happening. Not so much tonight, and that's possibly tied into what I did on Thursday night. And I think about this because I just read a story that said scientists were talking about a hangover cure. It's a prevention, not a cure. And it's pear juice, of all things. And this is not some weird, stupid, mystical extract of activated pear seed. No, it's just straight up pear juice. Apparently, as little as 220 mils of pear juice before you hit the booze can actually really lessen the impact of a hangover. And I did not know this until after I went to a free drinks night organised by work. And look, while it may be true that at a certain point someone realised because there was so much left on the bar tab they could hit the top shelf single malt whiskies, and they convinced me to get involved, and I might have had several. That might be a matter of public record, but after that, it's just conjecture. There's no evidence. There were stories, rumours about someone throwing up at a tram stop on their way home. There's no evidence that was me. Nobody knows for real. So let's just put that aside. Yes, enough talk about my rampant alcoholism. Let's talk about how fucked the Australian federal government is. And yes, they've been kicking some real fuckwit goals this week. In fact, I'm actually having to narrow down of all the stupid fucking things they've done this week. Last week, AZ and I talked about the funeral with Bronwyn Bishop. Just a day or so after we made that video, she did in fact resign after having a word from the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott. And he tries to say, this has nothing to do with me. It's just that just before she resigned, she categorically said, I'm not going to resign because the Prime Minister likes me. And to which the Prime Minister's front bench went, yeah, you know what? We're getting to the stage where it's her or you. Because she's fucking dragging us down, man. She's fucking awful. And so Tony's going, really? Her or me? Well, I guess it's her then. And suddenly she resigned. And he's all like, but she's done nothing wrong. Why would you resign if you did nothing wrong? Fucking ridiculous. And it is worth pointing out, it's not like it's one party that's guilty of rorting all their travel claims and whatnot. They fucking all do it. But it's just, when you take a helicopter for a distance that would take you an hour in a car and just frivolously throw away $5,000 on that, yeah, you're kind of taking a giant shit in everyone's face. And that's what brought her down, that level of arrogance. So yeah, Abbott's going, oh, this has some effect on me just because I point blank got told they were going to throw me out. And a significant number of his own party still do want to throw him out. It's just a matter of time till we get another fun challenge to his leadership. Like when there's a poll go, if you had to choose between Tony Abbott and a bucket of decaying horse manure, who do you think's doing a better job? The horse shit is going to win, okay? It's only a matter of time till there's another vote against him. And yes, I will take quite a bit of glee in this. But what else did he say this week? And honestly, there was more. There really was. People encouraged by him. I've mentioned before how our glorious Prime Minister and Treasurer have both said shit stupid things about wind turbines. Like, oh, they're ugly. Yeah, as opposed to how beautiful an open-cut coal mine are. Oh, there are rumours that there might be health effects. As opposed to how we know for a fact coal-fired power plants have serious, wide-ranging health effects on the population. It's like, what they're saying is so fucking stupid, it doesn't bear thinking about, but they say it anyway. But anyway, they let some fringe lunatics who happen to be senators, independent crossbench senators, say, hey, yeah, we want to ban wind power. Let's have an independent inquiry into wind power, and we'll say, oh, look, there's something wrong with it. Yeah, someone who calls themselves a libertarian. Like, no, I should be allowed to have all the guns I want. Seatbelts, they're stupid. Helmets, they're stupid. Oh, but wind farms are crazy and from the devil. The government should do everything possible to shut them down. This is why I fucking don't like libertarians, because 99% of them are fucking hypocrites. They are so full of shit. And their inquiry just went to treat anecdote and outright bullshit like it was worth listening to. And let's not focus too much on actual real science and medical evidence, because that won't support our predetermined outcome. The high point was definitely the responses from a professor. And I want to actually quote this for you word for word. This is what happens when you're a fucking lunatic fringe nutbag who tries to say to a scientist, well, what's wrong with what you're doing? And they were upset that you called us wingnuts, and that's mean. And he said, yeah, in the last 5-6 years, you check my Twitter feed, in that time, I said Windfarm, wingnuts twice. And honestly, given how you guys are so totally disconnected from reality, I think calling you wingnuts is apposite, which is, I would say, is a fucking understatement. But they were firing all these questions at him, and he took a lot of them under advice, which meant he was going to come back and give them a written response later, and he did. And I love it, because when you read it, you just imagine at the end of every sentence, it says, you fuckwit. Now, the fuckwits who are pushing this lunacy say things like, oh yeah, sure, okay, all the science and all the medical evidence says we're talking shit. But you know what? We're the early warning. It's like the people who pointed out thalidomide was a problem. They actually say this. They say, I'm like the people who warned everyone of the dangers of thalidomide. Except that you're talking absolute fucking shit. Here's what Professor Simon Chapman said to them, the guy who upset them by calling them wingnuts, when their question was, have you ever visited the homes of people claiming to be adversely affected by wind farm noise? He says, no, I've not visited any such homes. Here's why. There are many people who passionately believe in things I do not believe in. For example, every week, many thousands use lottery number selection systems in the firm belief this will increase their chances of winning the lottery. 51% of Britons believe in aliens. A majority of the population believe in the supernatural and life after death, and whole religions believe in reincarnation. Some people earnestly believe that aircraft chemtrails are chemical sprays used by governments to control populations, and that mobile phones and towers and Wi-Fi are deadly. I do not need to talk personally to any of these people or visit their homes in order to corroborate the information that I can obtain from a variety of sources, which tells me clearly that these beliefs are irrational and, in fact, either nonsense or faith-based beliefs. BAM! That's what it sounds like when a professor tells you you're a fucking idiot! And this was not the only environmental issue this week that the federal government chose to be fuckwits about. There's a big coal mine development being pushed in Queensland, owned by an Indian company called Adani, and it got a bit of a bump on the road where some environmental activists pointed out they had not done the required environmental impact studies correctly, and there's evidence that this mine was going to have a bad effect on some endangered native animals. A lizard and a snake. I care about lizards and snakes, and you should too. But the government responses were just fucking mind-blowing. And there seemed to be a competition between the local MP, George Christensen, and the Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, to say the most fucking stupid, intelligence insulting thing possible. Now, starting with Christensen, he kept saying, well, my understanding is they're moving the goalposts. My understanding is when a politician starts a sentence with, my understanding is, you know they are consciously fucking lying. what comes after my understanding is a fucking lie. Because when you prove to them later it's complete bullshit, they said they can go, I didn't say it was true. I said that was my understanding. George Christensen understands fucking nothing. This wanker is the prick I talked about who goes to fucking neo-Nazi rallies. So fuck that guy in the neck with a lump of fucking coal. And speaking about saying stupid things repetitively, when Tony Abbott had a press conference talking about how the courts had said, yeah, you guys haven't done the right thing and we have to suspend approval until you do the right thing, he kept saying, like, he's trying to say, okay, here's how I'm going to say something's wrong. He goes, look, while it's absolutely true that we have to adhere to environmental standards, and while it's absolutely true that people can take their complaints to court, this is terrible. It's like, okay, what you've just fucking said is everything about this objection is correct, but you think it's shit anyway because it conflicts with your fucking ideology. And he's going on this brain dead shit about there are people in India without electricity because of that. Fuck off! That is not fucking true. There is nobody in India going, oh, I've got no electricity. If only the mine in Australia was going ahead now, I'd have electricity now. It's actually directly related. No, it fucking isn't. That is what you call a blatant fucking lie. Saying mind-bendingly stupid shit that isn't actually true. And go, oh, it's for the good of humanity. No! No one fucking sensible thinks the expansion of coal mining and the use of coal is good for humanity long term. You are talking fucking shit!